Here we are.
All right. Hi,
Hey!
everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
December 16th already, which is crazy.
Gosh.
This month has
wow.
flown by.
Yeah. So we see.
I know. Real Genie's been popping on. We're gonna get caught up on your chats there in just a sec. So hang on to those.
Buddy.
But thank you for being here, and thank you for everybody else who's here. And how are you guys doing today?
Yeah. How's everybody doing? It's Wednesday. It's really rainy and wet and cold here.
Really cold and rainy.
And Allison was just telling me most of the country's under snow.
Yeah,
right
there's
now.
a huge snowstorm. We were wondering if any of you are experiencing that. Like Pennsylvania is supposed to get up to like a foot or even up to 20 inches of snow. So like indoor plants are where it's at for today, at least. Sean and I, we focus on outdoor plants.
Yep.
We do outdoor plant care, but we do have indoor plants. We have enough to talk about outside. So we leave this kind of indoor plants to other
many others.
Many amazing other accounts and whatnot.
Okay.
But
totally. So
we'll get into this in a minute, but like this is part of our indoor plant collection. We don't really have a lot of space, for growing. We don't have a lot of windowsills available.
We don't, and the way our house is oriented, a lot of light doesn't come through the windows around our house throughout a day, so it's hard to have these in the house to get them enough light, let alone have enough time to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like Allison's saying, these are really easy to take care of.
They're so easy, you guys. Half the time we kind of forget about them, and I'm sorry that we're outside all the time and we neglect our indoor plants.
Yeah.
But they're so easy to maintain, and we have a little bit of care to do on camera today. We thought we'd show you, but the main goal today, we have got to get these guys into bigger homes.
Yep.
They are, this jade plant right here is completely maxed out. We need to replant this into 3 different pots.
Yeah, they're top heavy, they're just getting too big for the pot and themselves to be planted around each other. So yeah, we're gonna do it. We got another one right here.
Love this cactus.
It's so top heavy. This is usually in most plants, especially in pots, you'll see the top is almost as big as the bottom. When you see the top bigger than the bottom, usually that's a good kind of visual sign to say, maybe I need to repot that.
That's kind of a problem.
So, yeah.
So we've got some new pots we're gonna get out here in a minute. We've got some fresh potting indoor cactus mix soil, and we're gonna take care of all of this on camera in just a minute.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff, guys.
We need to do it anyway,
Yeah.
so we thought maybe some of you would have a similar situation or maybe you want to talk a little bit about some indoor plants.
Yeah, maybe you've never done this before, and it's super simple. Something to keep in mind though is that many indoor plants, they're indoor because you really can't take care of them most of the time outdoors. They don't survive outdoors. They're not hardy enough, or there's too much rain, or there's too much sun, or something's not right for it to be outdoors, so that's why they're indoors. And it's a lot better controlled environment. Obviously, it's warmer, hopefully. And so a lot of these plants, they thrive on neglect, like the Sansevieria mother-in-law's or snake plant, as it's commonly known. It thrives on neglect. It really, if you forget about it, it does great. And this one, it's a good example of that. It was like half this size about a year ago, and now it's doubled. So we really haven't done much with it.
I know, we really haven't.
So,
but it does need a new home, so
Yes,
we're definitely going to start with at least that.
It does. So yeah. So
well, before we get going though, just quick announcements. Some of you that are watching live right now are going to be or signed up to be part of our winter pruning webinar.
Oh yeah.
Which was supposed to be last Thursday, but we'll talk more about this tomorrow. But you guys, total nightmare.
Yeah.
Everything that went wrong technologically went wrong that you can imagine.
Murphy's Law, no doubt.
It was a mess, but
it was bad.
We, in case you missed it, we are going to be airing that pruning webinar tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep, bugs are worked out.
Yes.
It's going to be perfect tomorrow, and we hope you're there to learn all about winter pruning do's and don'ts with us.
And if you're watching right now, if you're either live with us or watching the replay, and you happen to see this before tomorrow, you can still sign up. We'll put the link in the description.
Yep, and also if you want to just type in right now on a separate screen,
true.
spokengarden.com/winter pruning webinar, all one word, and go to that page, reserve your spot. We'll send you the link to the webinar through email, and that's because it's going to be a private video. We're not going public live with this webinar tomorrow. So we need to let you know that so you can get your spot and so you can get that link and then join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. So yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to go over definitely some do's and don'ts during the winter of what you can prune, what you shouldn't prune, and then also we're going to get you a freebie, a list of plants actually that you can prune during the winter. I think, what do we have, like 20 plants?
Oh, at least.
Yeah. So
kind of a mix of trees and shrubs.
Yep, and you'll get that as a download in the email that we send you with the link for the live video to join us. So that'll be included in that, and a couple other things that we're gonna get you. So yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, I was trying to catch up with Real Jingy in the chat, and sorry, my hands are really cold, so I kept I had a few errors there, but we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us, and that's really cool that you're getting a windowsill set up in your current space to have kind of some more plants. It sounds like.
Cool.
So I think that's awesome, and we'd love to hear some of the types of plants you have.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have one that was propagated in water propagated, which is always fun to do. So
did he say which one was propagated in water?
Let's see. I'm not sure if it says, but
okay, if you can tell us.
Yeah, we'd love to know if you know.
Yeah, if it's one of these or whatever, it'd be great to know because it's interesting. Houseplants, maybe even succulents, they're used to not a lot of water. So if it's a plant that is a succulent, considered a succulent, and it was propagated in water, that's very interesting.
That is cool.
That's very interesting.
Really fun to try.
So yeah.
And we have some more things to tell you about these plants, but yeah, I guess we should just jump in, right? I don't even know where to start.
Maybe we should talk about the plants that we know what they are and give some backstory on some of these. A lot of these were gifts to us. We bought a couple of them, I think, from a retailer out here called.
Well, they're all over Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I didn't know if
they're kind of all over.
But yeah, you might have one in your area. So a lot of these we got, or some of these we got from Trader Joe's.
Every time I go to Trader Joe's, I always end up in that little. They have like a little plant section, right, in the middle. I'm pretty sure that it's set up the same way if you have at Trader Joe's.
Yep.
I swear, I'm always drawn to that, and I have to get a whole bunch of stuff. It's ridiculous. We haven't been there in about a year.
No, because of the pandemic.
Because of COVID, we have not gone. But
when you go there, though, you'll pick up plants and different things. A lot of times, they don't have tags in them, and so it's like you literally see what you're getting, but you don't get the information with it. So you're either guessing, or it's just, well, I'll get it because it looks pretty, but you'll never truly know what it is from that retailer, from the grower. So that can be an issue. And that's what we run into here. What is it? So these two guys, we're not really sure exactly the names of these guys,
or anything.
Yeah, species. But I mean, this one right here to us looks almost like a beaver tail.
This one's so fun. We have a fun story. This one actually made an appearance in our upcoming book.
Oh,
Remember, we had this as a photo and kind of comparison picture. But what was nice is that this plant, actually we kind of forgot and left it outside for a few nights, but it did fine. It actually grew a whole new, would you call this an arm or like a whole new section?
I'd say a section of stem.
This entire thing just spontaneously all of a sudden grew as we put it out in the sun. I mean, go figure.
It really did.
It needed more sun.
It needed a lot of sun, and it loved it out there. And then now it's already growing a new one off of that.
So we might look into propagating some of these parts and just kind of trying that out. This section, unfortunately, is withered and needs to be cut off. Yeah,
we're pretty sure because of where it's sitting on the windowsill, it was a little too close to the window glass itself. Well, could have been me too. But that's cold damage. That's cold air damage to this cactus. It just got too cold where it was sitting, and that's the damage that can happen.
I'm super bummed about that, actually. I love that little guy, but it obviously is doing well, but it really needs a new home. It needs better soil too.
And it needs more light.
And it needs more light.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to find a home for that.
So also here we've got jade plants. So we've got 3 in this pot right here, and they're really top heavy. So we want to get each one of these in its own pot. And then we've got a smaller one over here that's doing really good, and it's kind of leaning over the side. It's top heavy too. But that's really, these are really cool plants to have. They're super easy, and they're just cool looking.
We have a few other plants that we didn't show on camera that are doing well, and they're perfectly fine in the homes that they're in. But these were the ones we targeted as we've got to get these moved. Cool. So we have kind of a new assortment of pots, and we were thinking you guys could help us.
Before we say that, just one more plant.
I'm ahead of
We've got our Sansevieria, which is Sansevieria is a common name. So is also mother-in-law's tongue. So is also snake plant. And some people think that it looks like a snake, or its leaves could look like a snake coming up. This one's a little bit more of a different kind. Some of them have like individual leaves that come up as swords straight up.
Oh, those are cool.
Out of the ground. And so that's another kind of mother-in-law's or snake plant, mother-in-law's tongue snake plant. But the ones with the swords coming up, they named it that because it thrives on neglect, and also a lot of those sword-looking leaves almost look like tongues, and sometimes people get the impression that maybe mother-in-laws have a lot to say. So
That's funny.
that might be the case, that might not be. We don't know.
This is, I like a plant that thrives on neglect, especially indoor plants, because we're always outside, like we said, so
Yep.
unfortunately, that does happen, but,
Absolutely.
okay.
Beautiful plants. Okay.
I really like
Cool.
all of these
I'll
plants.
put this back over here.
So we're trying to figure out how to show you all of this. So we've got our soil. We have these kind of in their own little trays because then we can water them at the end. So we'll get to that.
People can look at that.
Got our favorite is Soma.
Yep, the Soma organic cactus mix. This is interesting. It's not like sand, or it's not like maybe kind of type of a pumice or anything. It's actually organic matter, but it's formulated for cactuses, palms, and citrus.
That's cool.
And so we peeked inside. We peeked inside this bag real quick before we went live with you, and this soil is exactly the same kind of soil that these plants are all potted in. So that's pretty cool. So we're just going to be like with like. There's not going to be any weirdness or trade out from one soil or into a new soil.
That's
so that'll be good.
I like that.
Now, before we get into the pots, I'm sorry, one more thing to think about is when you transplant any plant, whether it's in a pot or outside, it's going to go through some shock. So be aware of that and anticipate that you could have some leaf diebacks and discoloration, or just maybe less or no flowering after it's been transplanted. Just a word to the wise. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we've got all these assorted sizes. I really like this little pot.
These are neat.
I know, they're cute. They're real.
I like this. I like this one.
Nice.
It's got a marble finish.
Yeah,
to it. That's pretty cool.
So our goal is to kind of, well, my goal, I guess, John probably doesn't really care, but
No.
I want to figure out which plant I want in which pot. So
I care.
I know. I don't know. We're kind of thinking this might go well there.
That'd be
I
interesting.
don't like the way that spreads out. That's an option.
Huh.
And this guy, again, I can't wait to get this repotted. So we definitely need a deeper, wider kind of pot. So maybe one of these, or even this white
I
one.
think the white one.
The white one looks. Oh, that looks cute.
Yeah, that looks nice.
What do you guys
That's gonna
think?
really pop.
I like
You guys
that.
like that? I can't see the chat from there, but
That looks good. Okay. Real Genie wrote back, so we'll get back to that in just a
Okay.
minute. Okay, and then we've got all of these available, plus that pot. This poor little guy, yeah, this is really healthy, and we just need a little bit bigger. It doesn't need to be one of
No.
these huge ones.
I'm almost thinking we keep it in the same pot. We just bring it out and
Just gonna repot
reposition it, and then repot it in the same pot, because it's really not
It's not,
much bigger.
it
than
really isn't.
It's yeah.
But we also have this size available. We could
That's pretty.
just pot it up in that.
Yeah, we could. Let's do that.
Okay,
Done.
so those will go in there.
That's a done deal.
So it's kind of good to do a little match game here.
Yeah, we're doing an
And
inventory.
then okay, so we have this guy.
Oh,
I'll go
yeah,
in one
that
of
guy.
these.
You want to? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
One of those.
Sure. That
Okay.
sounds good. And then we got 1, 2, and then one of these will stay in there.
Yeah, that's.
So let's.
We have one more available, but I don't think we need this for anything. Actually, I might like this pot better than that one. Maybe we'll do that little guy in there, and then we don't need this one.
You guys can't see this, but this there's a pot within
Oh
a
my
pot.
gosh, that's
So
ridiculous. I forgot about that.
that's actually what this is really in for soil space, and this is what it was in. So it's like, yeah.
How is this even still alive?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, it's gonna do well. So we'll
It's-
do. So we have what? 3 sections, 3 plants in there.
3 plants, so 1,
One,
2,
two, three.
and 3.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I think we're good to
What do you
go.
want to do first?
I don't know. You pick.
Let's do this guy.
I'm gonna put, yeah, definitely.
guys
Put the
see
gloves on.
these?
Hey, just so you know, don't get too macho or too brazen out there with these cactuses. They have spines on them. I don't know if you can see it on this one.
Here, let's move
This one's
these.
really got some, I don't know, about ½ an inch long
Ooh,
spines.
there's.
And
yeah,
they
sure.
are really, they're sharp and they're really rigid. They're not gonna bend. Now, this one over here, this plant, it's got some spines on it too, but it's got some thorns on it, but they're a little bit bendier, they're a little bit pliable, but they still hurt. So wear gloves. And make sure they're rubber or leather. Don't wear the cloth gloves because this stuff will go straight through. So, okay.
All right, so
first step is we got our supplies. We're gonna fill the pot with soil first.
we'll let Sean take care of all of this.
Here, I'm gonna
Oops, I
stand up.
forgot my gloves.
Oops. It's funny how that goes. So what's, while I'm doing this, what's going on?
Let's see, no, Jiggy was asking about, he wasn't quite sure what it's called, and we totally hear that, because some of these we don't know either. Let's see, he said it has 2 types of leaves. They're flat, thick, green, about 2.5 inch diameter for one of them. Flat, thick, and green. And then the other one has thick, darker green, and squishy or crinkly. Ooh, is it any type of fern?
Ooh, yeah.
I'm wondering.
You know,
but
hey guys, so there's a lot of indoor plants that are ferns. So
I love ferns.
yeah, ferns are great.
We have a ton of ferns in our. We have not highlighted the ferns in our yard yet. We need to show those.
Yeah, we got some.
We're not sure what kind. They're native here, so we're not exactly sure what they are cultivar wise. But
Maidenhair fern, something like that. I'm
I'll
not
have to
sure.
look into that. But the indoor ones are awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool. And so another thing, guys, too, is it's kind of fern-like, but it's not a fern. Spider plants, they are so cool.
Those are cool.
Spider plants are neat. Love spider plants. So just before I do this, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but spider plants are the ones that are really bright green or have some type of yellow green, like grass-like leaves that just come out everywhere, and then they have those long stems that just shoot out, and then they have the little plant at the end of that shoot, the little plantlets that shoot out, and that's how it reproduces.
That's cool.
But it only does that, super cool, but it only does that when it gets root bound and it gets under stress. Then it shoots those stems out with the little plants on them, so they're really cool. They're great for hanging baskets too. Word advice. Okay.
That's cool. Sean grew up with a lot of houseplants. I didn't really have too many. We had a few ferns here and there and different things, but we didn't have a lot of space.
Yeah.
My parents were like us. They were outside.
Outside.
They had plants everywhere outside, but not as many inside.
So guys, what I've done, we'll just talk to everybody about this. What I've done is I've taken this plant out of its pot that it was in, and you can see there wasn't a lot of root structure to this cactus, which is interesting. But there is some root structure. There's some right here. I've got the roots. I've got the pot pre-filled with the new soil over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to nicely take these roots and splay them out as best I can to get them to go out to the sides and not directly down, because I don't want these roots to get kinked or anything like that. So there we go. So I'm going to hold this guy here, stand back up, and then I'm just going to secure the rest of the plant in here with more new soil. So I'm going to lightly tap that down. We're just going to keep going here until we get it to where we want it, get it secured in there. One thing we don't want to do after we're done with this is have the plant lay over on us. That would be bad.
That's kind of what it was doing in here, so that was a problem too.
Yeah, so what we want to do is just do that. Now we're going to water this in later, but that's pretty much it.
Are we going to cut off that little end?
Sure. Yeah,
so again, if you can't see from where you're sitting, we've got this end that made contact with some a cold window basically, and it killed it.
Yep, it did.
Kind of died back.
Too bad. Okay, so on this, what we're going to do is right at its point of attachment. You probably can't do it this way. You can't really see that. Here, I'll sit down. So it's attached right here to the main part of the cactus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right at its point of attachment right there. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's off of there. Put that down there. See what I mean? I'm wearing leather gloves and it is sticking to me.
Those are super spiky.
Yep. So I'm going to put that there. Be careful with cactuses again. Cacti. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and set it over here. We're going to be really careful with that because it is kind of top heavy. Mm-hmm. It's shallowly rooted, and so we're going to water that in, but we're going to treat it with kid gloves until it gets reestablished in its new pot and gets those roots out there. And by then it shouldn't be so easy to push over or be so rickety. So that's
Okay.
pretty much it.
That's good. Let's do this guy
Cool
next.
stuff.
I'm just gonna tell Sean what to do, I guess. I picked a different pot, by the way. I don't know.
Oh,
if you
okay.
noticed some-
That's
a little
cool.
soil in there.
Is there soil in there? I don't know where that's.
I don't- well, yeah. So what are you guys are watching, what are some of your favorite indoor plants? Do you have any succulents or cactus or something similar to this, kind of a mother-in-law's tongue? So let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, and so guys, when we go through this, we've described this in other videos we've had, and maybe some blog posts or podcasts, but when you're taking a plant out of one pot and putting it into a new pot, the level that it's planted at in the current pot it's in of soil, that level of soil, you want to replicate that and keep that the same in the new pot. You don't want to bury it further down in this pot with this new soil around it, and you don't want it too high or above this original soil level or grade. So you want to try and match how it's planted here at that level on the stem to how it's planted in the new pot.
That's a really good tip. This is almost a little too high, the soil's level.
The soil, yeah. And that's something else, guys. Make sure to leave about maybe, in these pots,
Tiny.
yeah, maybe about a half an inch of level of space between the top of the pot down to the soil level. So there's a little bit of a reservoir there. When you water the plant, the water can sit there if it needs to and then filter through the pot until the water reaches down all the way to the bottom and comes out. You know, if you don't do that, what's going to happen, like in this case, the water comes up, it hits this right here, or you pour the water on, it doesn't come up. The water, when you pour it, it hits this, and then it just kind of goes out. And then the water won't go down because it doesn't have a choice, it doesn't have a chance to go down. So,
Oh, good.
good stuff.
That would be bad.
That would be bad. Boy, this is really packed in there. Anything going on?
Oh, we have a
in the
great question. Let's see, Delphinia, hi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. So,
chat?
they just got several small succulents from a nursery. That's so cool.
Sweet.
And is there a specific season that they should wait before repotting or putting them into an arrangement? We're assuming they're indoor. You mentioned they're escheverias. Did I say that right? And sansevieras. Or no, sansevieras? I'm not familiar with
Let
them.
me take a look.
Here, let's let Sean the pro look here.
Escheverias and Sedivarius. I'm not familiar with those. Sounds cool. What we can do, well,
they're indoor plants, right?
they're indoor plants, okay, so technically,
That's so cool though, yeah.
for transplanting, so the basics of plants is when you transplant them, you're going to put them through some stress. Now, when you put them through that stress afterwards, they're going to show the signs of stress in less growth, smaller internodes, smaller stem lengths, smaller flowers and leaves. So it depends on what you're looking at the plant to do at that point. You know, do you want it to flower? Okay, so what you want to do is wait for that plant to flower. When it's done flowering, then transplant it. Because then it'll have all its energies going towards that flower. Or if you want something to grow and get bigger before you transplant it, leave it alone and don't transplant it yet until it's done that growth. Because what happens is we're going to put plants through the stress when we transplant them, but when we transplant them, they're taking energies away from their normal functions of growth, flowering, and growing seed, setting seed and all that, and they're putting it back into reestablishing themselves into their new home, into their new pot. So when you transplant it, you're literally telling the plant to reallocate all of its growing resources, all of its nutrients and water and everything that it takes in that it needs to live, and you're telling it to take those resources and put it into reestablishing itself in its new home. So with that in mind, you can use that to time your transplanting of the plants. We're transplanting ours right now because we're not really worried about their growth right now. They all look healthy. They're not stressed already.
Yeah.
And we're not concerned about their flowering. We really don't care. We just like the way they look right now. So we're just doing it right now.
Yeah, and we know that they need to be repotted because they're completely getting packed and cramped in their space right now.
Oh, and
So
yeah.
that's kind of the main reason too that we're repotting it.
Yeah, and so you just made me think. If a plant is already root bound in its pot, that's a good reason to transplant it right away. Especially if you don't really if you're not worried about it flowering or anything else about it, get it out of that root-bound environment, because that itself is stressful to the plant.
Yeah,
And
like
it's struggling to survive in that confined space with those roots just circling and circling and circling. So yeah, that's a good reason to say, I'm going to transplant these right now. So.
But as far as like indoor plants, again, we do all outdoor plant care. So there's usually seasons and different specific times when you want to repot or transplant.
Totally.
But indoor plants are different, right? Like you just said, it kind of depends on what you want out of it.
Yep.
Because you can kind of do it any time, really.
Yeah, depending on the plant. Yeah, like we're doing the jade plant here. We already did our what we're calling the beaver tail plant,
Which isn't.
which it looks like kind of like a beaver tail, right? It's that flat round thing. We're doing these because it fits our schedule. We want to do it, and we think it's time to get these plants into newer soil and newer homes or pots because of their current pot situation. So those are all good reasons to time your replanting of your plants.
Yeah, great question. We're done with that one?
I think so.
Oh, that looks great.
That looks a lot better.
So this
It's
guy
got room
is-
to grow. Cool. Let me move this around here and do that. Okay. Stick it to me. Okay. Oh, this guy. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna stand up for this one.
I'll be your sister here.
By the way, who asked the question?
Delphina.
Delphina. Delphina?
Delphina.
Delphina.
Yes, Delphina.
Hopefully we're saying it right. Great question, Delphina. Totally.
I was a little afraid we wouldn't have enough soil. Are we doing okay in there?
Yeah, we're not even halfway
Okay,
through
good.
it yet.
It's one of the last bags they had, so we were like,
Doing
"Is it gonna
good.
be-" So, yeah. This
Really
is looking
cool.
really good.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, really.
Do you guys like how these look, or go ahead? I'm
I
sorry.
was just saying I'm excited to get this one all split up.
So, something we can pass along to you about transplanting plants. If it's not a hard pot that the plant's in, it's just like this plastic, it's easier to get it out of it. So what you do is just squeeze it, kind of loosen up the soil and the roots, especially down below, especially if it's root bound, and that'll break that up. It'll make it a lot easier to get out. Get a hold of the plant, turn it upside down or to the side, so you can just literally just pull this off, and it makes it super easy. Now I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but we got circling roots on this guy.
Yeah, we do. Do we need to do any root pruning?
What we need to do, yeah, good question. What we need to do is kind of break it up.
Whoa, that's really dry soil.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of falling off.
Yep. It is. Oh, and we lost a little bit of root on that, but that's okay. That's okay. So guys, in this situation, we want to get the roots untangled and not in a circle. We want to straighten them out, see how long they are. And once we see how long they are and how many there are of them, we can prune a few of the roots off of it, so it'll stop that circling motion, and then we can actually fit all of these roots into this pot. Right now, we can't do that because these roots are way too long. They're way too long. So
definitely needed to be transplanted.
yeah. So, and now some of those roots are actually coming off here, so that'll make that easier. But yeah, so here we go. There's our guy.
Oh.
Now, something to keep in mind, this plant's going to be stressed, like I was telling you before. But when we prune these roots, it's going to reinvigorate those roots too, which it does in a lot of different plants. Not all plants, but a lot of plants will be reinvigorated down below to regrow and establish new roots off the remaining root structure. So, and in this case, this plant will be fine. What we're going to do is we're going to take off about half of these to get it. We're going to definitely do some root pruning here, but there we go. So that's good. Now, by doing that, this plant with its roots will fit a lot better and a lot easier into this pot, and then it'll reestablish those roots, and it'll be fine. It's going to be great. So let's splay those out as best we can. Oh, that looks nice.
That does look nice.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
Okay.
if that's going to fit on our windowsill now, but we'll find a home.
Oops. Yeah, we didn't think about
I
that part
know.
when we were getting these. So,
That's cute.
yeah, it's fun. Any other questions?
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, guys, feel free to ask us any questions. I mean, yeah, this is, whether you're transplanting into pots outside or inside, the basic premise of transplanting between the two is relatively the same.
Yeah. That's a
You
good
know,
point.
get the roots untangled, make sure they got enough depth and the right soil going into the pot around them. They're being planted at the right depth.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Oh, you guys, look at this. This is neat.
I feel like we're checking a big project off our list that we
We
keep
kinda are.
putting off.
We've been needing to do this for a
You
while.
guys will probably have lots of projects on your list too. It's always feels so good to get them
Oh, yeah.
done.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, we can't go outside, so
No.
it's kind of gross.
No,
Oh,
it's-
that's cute.
That looks nice. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this guy next. My favorite.
Okay. Oh, and so guys too, couple things you need to know. The very last step of all of this is to water the plants in. Even though they're succulents, even though they don't take a lot of water, putting them into new soil that's dry and in their new environment, they need to start to get reestablished soon. And so we got to get them that water. Now, after the initial watering, we might not need to water them for a while, but that's okay. But we got to get that soil moisture. We got to get that moisture into that soil so they start to reestablish and they don't get further stressed out. So.
That's a good tip.
And also, something to keep in mind is when you water this soil in, almost any soil, it's going to settle. So be prepared for that. You might have to come back with some of your soil later after first couple waterings and add some more soil to it.
Oh, that's true.
So, okay.
That's good. Now, I was a little concerned because there is no drainage hole at the bottom of this. A lot of indoor plants, you know, the pots are that way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always have the drainage.
Yeah, they do. And some of them too, if they do have the drainage, they'll have a little saucer at the bottom.
Yeah,
so
that would be nice.
they have that little gap right there and you'll see like a built-in saucer to them. But these don't have that. We're not worried about it because we water these so infrequently that if we give them a little too much water at one time, they'll be fine for a while. So, okay.
Okay,
So,
that's gonna look good.
this is going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to look so great. That bright green with this white. That's great. All right.
I love this cactus.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just so interesting. This reminds me of those, I forget the name, but in Arizona, Saguaro National Park, like the barrel cactus or their, I know that's not the right name, don't quote me, but
Definitely the
there's
saguaros.
like a pipe cactus or,
Oh,
yeah, I
oh, okay.
can't think of the name.
Yeah, I'm
I'll have to
not
look
sure.
that up later.
Yeah, definitely the saguaros though. If you ever get a
Oh,
chance
I
to
love
go
it.
to Saguaro National Park, go.
It's
It is
so cool.
beautiful.
Wow, that's really.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa, look at the roots.
Yeah, this guy, poor guy has nowhere to go.
This is just, yeah, that is tight. So you can see they're just going in different directions, but they're following the outside of that pot. Yeah, we got to break this up. Oh yeah, look at that. So let's see. We'll just do some squeezing here. See what we can come up with.
Careful.
Okay, we're good. There's some deeper.
Yeah, we're almost done here though. We've got this one and then all the jade plants that need
Jade
to be separated.
plants.
I don't even remember if this was a gift or, yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. So, if anybody out there watching has a favorite cactus plant,
Oh, that would be great.
yeah, let us know. We want to know.
Oh, great. And Delphine, thank you for letting us know. She just wrote back and said they just recently re-landscaped the front yard, so now they're growing their indoor plant collection, which is so cool, and
cool.
mostly succulents.
Oh yeah!
We love succulents.
Oh,
I really
sweet.
want to like grow our succulent collection as well, but again, we're kind of out of room.
Yeah, it's not that we don't have the best setup
We
yet.
don't have
but
the best setup. It's like we need to, I don't know, maybe build some kind of table. It's gonna take living space away, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that is super exciting. And those of you that live in a climate that can have succulents outside all year, and you know, in warmer tropical climates, that's pretty cool.
That is so cool.
Love to see. I love seeing just succulents and cactus in the garden. I think that's so cool.
It is.
They would not survive our winters here.
Nope. No, a little
Some
too
do,
cold.
but
It's a little cold.
like we have some chicks and hens outside. Those do okay.
Yeah,
We
those
have
do
a couple
okay.
other succulents, but
We got the sedums.
we do have sedums do
Yeah,
well.
the autumn joys.
Love sedums. Yeah, those do well. So let's see, you're leaving about a ½ an inch at the top.
Yep, from the top of the pot down to the soil level, about ½ an inch.
Okay.
I'm really packing this in because I don't want this to flop over or have issues standing up straight later on.
I really like that in there. That looks great.
Yeah.
Really sets it off. Just kind of watching Sean work here. And like you mentioned, we're gonna water in just a sec. We've got our water right here, and we'll get to all of these in just a sec. Do you want to put that in there?
I can, sure.
Go.
There you go, guys. Hopefully you can see that. It's a fun plant.
I know, that looks great. I'm excited about that. So again, yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to help you with any of your indoor plants. We don't know all the names, but we know the care.
Yep. Yep.
So
it's a threefer.
it's a threefer.
It's better than a twofer.
The triplets need to be broken up apparently.
gosh.
So
Gotta break up the
got
band.
a little pot for everybody here. Let's just start filling those up. And yeah, these are great. I like these plants a lot.
Yeah, they're so different from a lot of other plants out there.
I really don't remember where this came from, but I know it's way larger than it used to be.
It's really grown.
It has, which is funny because it barely has any space to grow. Now, what do you think? Do you have a favorite in the mix?
Me?
Yeah.
I think it's between this guy and the mother-in-law's tub.
I think this is my favorite.
Yeah, you too?
That's definitely my favorite.
So,
Okay.
here we go. Yeah. Same thing as I showed you before, guys. Just take the plant and the pot in your hand. This is pretty loose, so I'm just going to take this out anyway. But yeah, so there's that guy. I'll put that over there. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of circling roots here.
Interesting.
There's some roots, but not a lot of circling roots. So we're going to do our best to be really gentle with this, but we got to break it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after this guy first, separate from those two. So I'm going to just do this. I'm just going to do my best to separate those. I'm going to lay those down nicely. Get this in my hand and show you guys. So there are some roots here, which is really great because if not, then we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, that would not survive.
So I'm just going to kind of do these a little bit here and see what I can kind of just nicely take off there. But yeah, this is not a whole lot of root for all the top.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so we're gonna see. What do you think? In that one right there?
Sure.
Or,
They all
they all gotta.
they're all gonna go in one of them. One thing, if you've been watching our videos for a while, you know Sean and I love taking cuttings and propagating plants and trying different things. So I think that'd be really interesting with indoor plants. I know Real Genie mentioned that he did some water propagating.
Oh yeah.
So I think that might be something we could try sometime.
Yeah. The J plane here.
Yeah, maybe,
Oh,
or
that'd be fun.
maybe this guy too.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That would really be interesting.
I'd love to hear if you guys have any experience with that. Indoor plant propagation.
Yeah, I can't remember all the details, but in my undergrad days in horticulture, we did propagation of the Sansevieria,
Oh, cool.
and we took individual pieces of the plant, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure we put it in like perlite, which is a man-made product, but it's a rock derivative that's cooked under heat, and I can't remember if we treated it with root hormone or not, but it rooted real fast, real easy.
That'd be fun to
So,
try.
yeah. I'm just gonna use this from this pot that I just removed before. So there we go, you guys. One down, two to go.
Do you guys have any repotting to do? Because it's kind of a project, right? You just have to get it all set up and make sure you have everything you need. I know we're running out of space.
That's okay. No. There we go. A little. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Cool. There you
All
go.
right, just two to
Nice,
go
neat.
here.
Yep, two.
Two little.
So again, guys, we got these two plants here. I'm gonna be as nice as I can, but I'm gonna pull them apart. And when I pull them apart, they're basically gonna tell me and decide what roots they want to keep and what they don't. So in a way, I'm leaving it up to them. Now this one, look how big this plant is.
Oh.
Not a lot of roots. It's gonna be interesting to see how it does after we transplant it. And you know what? This is interesting. There's kind of a line. You guys, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's kind of a line right here around this plant. And it could be a growing point, an old growing point, or it could have been part of how deep it was planted before. I'm not exactly sure. So we don't want to plant it too deep again, but we also don't want to plant it too high. We definitely don't want it to fall over. So depending on how we do real quick here, putting the soil in here, we might have to prune this.
You think?
As we transplant it, we might have to prune it. I think we are, because it's already wanting to go over.
It's like falling over.
Yeah.
It's not very stable.
So, great thing is I can see along the stem here, there's new buds along the stem here and here.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
And it's actually got some air roots. Now this plant will actually put out some air roots at times. And so it's looking for moisture. And when you get enough of those roots in one place, you can basically cut the plant off just below those. Yes. If you can see them, right there, there's air roots. And there's one right here, but you probably can't see it. But you would basically cut it just below in the stem where those air roots are, and then you just replant. You just plant that whole stem underneath some soil. You got a whole new plant. Yep.
So Delphina was just mentioning that that she water propagated some polka dot plants recently.
Polka dot
plants.
Huh, I'm not familiar with
No,
those.
but she said they did really well.
Oh, cool.
So that's cool.
That's fun. Right on. Good job. It's always fun to hear about the successes.
I know. That's great.
So I don't know. I wanna leave it alone, but I also want to prune it because it's
I would
real
say
tough.
prune it. It looks scoopy. It's just gonna keep growing and then flop over.
It is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some weight off this stem. So there's that.
Is there anything we can do
We could try
to
and
try to propagate it? I mean, we've
Yeah.
got enough pots available.
yeah, we could if you want to.
Where's that little one?
You want
Here, we can use like one of these.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, there's this one too.
Okay.
Whatever you think. Whatever you think there. And this one, because it's kind of jutting out this way. Now, I'm stressing the plant out when I do this. It's unfortunate, but we already stressed it out by transplanting it. Now we're going to stress it some more. So it's going to be under a lot of stress, but it should be okay as long as we take care of it and give it enough water and proper placement in our home. So I'm going to take this off because it's just jutting out this way. Get this in there. There we go. Okay. Got it. And there's one.
Wanna try that?
I don't know. Yeah, we can try it. Sure. I might have to prune that other one too, but we'll see. So let me get a little bit more soil in this guy.
So if you're just jumping in, we just pruned our jade plant because it's really top heavy and it's not really growing very well, I guess you could say. So we're gonna take in the little end pieces and see if we can maybe try to repropagate them.
And so guys,
Okay.
you can see here I left stem tissue, or not stem tissue, I left on the jade plant what are considered leaves. They're a modified leaf. They're kind of this bulky looking, almost aloe vera type of leaf on it. That's part of their succulentness. They just hold a lot of water in those leaves. And so I left those so it'll still be able to photosynthesize, and we further won't stress the plant out without, because if we don't leave any leaves on it, it's going to be really hard for it to produce new leaves to photosynthesize, stay alive. So
Yeah,
at least it's going to be able to photosynthesize.
Okay, I know it's kind of
So
not super attractive.
There we
but it's
go.
okay. All right, so we've got this plant and then the two little parts that we just cut off.
okay, let's do the little ones first.
Really should have brought my gloves. Now I'm
That's okay.
pushing it.
That's okay. So for these guys, I'm going to do. Excuse me.
So we've got these little tops.
So guys, what we want to do too is, here I'll show it this way. What we want to do is we want to keep these newer leaves because they're going to be the most vigorous and they're going to adapt better than the older leaves. So especially the stem tissue, it's newer tissue, it's more vigorous, whereas the older tissue down below, it's not as vigorous, it's not as adaptable. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this, we're going to strip these leaves off, and then we're going to bury maybe about half of this stem into the new soil, and that'll be the place where the new roots come out, where these leaves are. That's where the roots develop along the stem.
Good call.
So this is going to be, these come off pretty easy, so that's good. Sometimes you got to use the pruners to do it because these stems can be very delicate, and I think at this point I will, because these are pretty well attached, so I'm going to take these up this way.
Maybe you can hold it up a little higher.
Yeah, good call. There we go.
Okay.
So there we go. So okay. So here's our guy. Oh, I might do that other leaf there. So, there we go. I'm making a mess. Okay, so we've got our stem. We're just gonna put it down in there. So I just basically J-hooked it down in. We'll see how it does. It's gonna be interesting. Make sure to give it enough water.
It's an experiment.
It is. We do like our experiments.
We haven't been able to do too many outside lately, so
No, we haven't.
it'll be fun. All right.
Cool. There we go. You see, there's our cutting. We'll see how it does.
No red hormone.
No red hormone.
Here's this guy.
Okay. Thank you. And so again, same thing. I'm gonna strip all these leaves off. I'm gonna leave these new guys, and that's gonna be where our roots come out. That's where we're gonna bury it. So.
Okay. So we have a lot of new plants. It looks like.
We do. This is great. Where are we gonna put them?
I have no idea. We'll make room.
We'll make room somewhere. There we go.
All right. So
All right. Soil.
quickly get that done. And fill this guy.
Yeah. All right. Looking good, everybody. Looking good. See, there's our new guy, our newbie, new guy and gal. There we go.
Okay. So one last jade plant to rehome, and then we just have to water these, and then that's it.
Cool.
So we hope this was helpful so far. If some of you have, I know a couple of you were mentioning you have some things to repot yourself, so hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah, and all the little bits of information.
Yeah, definitely let us know if you have any questions down either in the chat or down in the description later.
Yep.
Or the comments.
And, you can always email us too
Anyway.
at all one word, Sean and Allison at spokengarden.com.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
We do. We have people email us a lot with questions, so we'll definitely take the time.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Why do I keep all this top heaviness? I'm not sure. Let's see.
It's not like falling over, but
It's still kind of.
it's kind of tall.
Yeah.
It looks like it's leggy, right? Like it's stretching a little bit.
It does, you're right.
So I kind of wonder about this one as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll give them a little prune.
Okay. Okay, what's going on there?
Well, so this is interesting. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's got a double stem coming
I
up.
noticed that.
It's kind of tangled. It's interesting. So I'm going to cut off one of the tangled pieces real quick here. There we go. There's one tangled piece. And then this one,
That's interesting.
it's got this stem right here coming off the main stem, and the rest of this is really top heavy. I'm going to cut it right here, and we're going to give it a chance just to reestablish itself right there. This one, this stem, it's going to reestablish itself right here and maybe down below it too, where those leaves are coming out. So that'll be fun.
That's cool.
Cool. They're very
So
exciting.
the last step would be to water these, which we might do off camera because we might actually have to move these to a different location to water. We have more than we allowed room for.
We did. Yeah, we do.
We have more plants.
We can water a couple of them.
We can water a couple, right?
Yeah. Where's our
Maybe
water?
quickly. Right here.
Oh, right there. Okay. So let's get the picture of water.
Just don't do this one because we're not.
So
quickly.
this one's right in the center there. I'll just do that
No,
one.
don't do that one.
Don't do that one? Oh, okay. Maybe we'll do this one then. So I'm gonna water this and I'm gonna be careful of this stem, and I'm just gonna slowly let the water in and let it filter down. And sometimes you gotta go on different sides of a pot to get the water in there. Especially when you're watering it for the first time. You don't wanna flood and put a bunch of water in there all at once and move the soil around because you just packed it in. It hasn't established or settled itself yet. And so if you get in there with water and you really just push the water on it really fast, like dump the pitcher of water on it, it's gonna really screw up it's gonna mess the plant up and dislodge it, and you don't wanna do that. So go slow. And what's happening is the water is slowly filtering through this new soil, and it's going down the gravity and going down through all those soil pores. And so that's great. I'm gonna leave that one alone, and I'm gonna do this guy next.
think they're going to be really happy in this new soil too.
I think so too.
Larger space to grow and then better soil.
Totally. And with the Soma soil too, they put in natural microorganisms in different soil, what they call biota, and it's just like, oh, sorry guys.
Off camera.
So in this soil, what they do is they put natural microorganisms and different things that really help plants establish, and they basically, it's like a symbiotic relationship where those organisms in the soil grow and they help the plant establish their roots faster, stay healthy, and process different chemicals and water and nutrients a lot more efficiently. So
That's cool.
Soma does that for a reason.
We
So
love
this is
Soma.
why this is good stuff to use. And we'll put a link down below for it.
Yeah, good call.
So, okay,
Okay, well,
this is
I'd
going
say
good.
this project was a success.
Yay!
And we just need to finish all the watering, and maybe we can do the rest of that in a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll do that in a little bit.
Okay. Got a
guys.
little bit of a mess to clean up,
Yeah.
but that's okay. It's always nice to get your hand, well, for Sean, I watched, but to get your hands in the dirt and the soil when you're, especially when you're indoors.
Yeah, if you're
And
gonna,
it's cold out.
if you're gonna, excuse me, if you're gonna garden, you're gonna get dirty.
Right.
So, eventually. So yeah, guys, that was fun.
That was fun.
I'm glad we got
and
to do that and give you guys that information.
Me too. I'm really happy to have this done. So
Yeah.
let us know again if you have any questions or comments or anything along the lines of what we did today, and we hope that was helpful.
Yeah.
So we really thank you for being here and for watching, and stay safe where you are.
Yep.
Especially-
Stay safe.
Yeah, especially if you're getting a ton of snow right
Yeah.
now.
Stay warm. Crank up the temperature, and yeah.
Definitely.
Watch a good movie. Watch some more of our videos.
Oh. Shameless plug. We'll be back next Wednesday live with, I think we're highlighting 5, but we haven't determined the actual number yet. But we're going to be talking about holiday plants and talking about some of their stories about why they're significant during the holidays. A lot of them have either folklore surrounding them or different, like, I don't know, just different tales and stuff.
Some mythology.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the plant, maybe a little bit of plant care, but also just a little history of the plant, I guess.
Yeah,
So that'll be fun.
It'll be really fun.
So holiday plants and their stories, next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific. And until then,
Oh yeah, and also before we go, tomorrow's 4 p.m.
Oh, right.
our live webinar for winter pruning do's and don'ts. So
winter pruning, outdoor pruning, do's and don'ts.
make sure to go to spokengarden.com/winter pruning webinar, and you can reserve your spot, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 4.
Yep,
Perfect.
tomorrow at 4.
All right,
So,
you guys.
thanks guys for being
Thank
here.
you for
we had
being
fun.
here.
Hope you did too.
Yeah, we'll hope to see you next week. And if you want to catch our outdoor garden care videos, we post every day. So take care, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.